Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. A new round of U.S.-Iran talks is set for today as tensions escalate in the Strait of Hormuz. President Trump says Iran has violated the ceasefire, and he says he's under no pressure to make a deal. U.S. forces have also seized an Iranian vessel. Joining us now live in studio is NTD's White House correspondent, Iris Tao. Iris, good afternoon. So what is the latest?
Sure. So, John, we're now just less than 48 hours away from when the ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran is set to expire on Wednesday. And that's as Vice President J.D. Vance is set to travel to Pakistan again for a new round of peace talks. And President Trump this morning taking to Truth Social posting saying that, of course, he wants a deal to happen and that whatever deal that he comes up with Iran will be far better than what he calls the JCPOA, which is the Obama-era nuclear deal with Iran. He also adds that he's not going to let them rush the U.S. into making a deal that is not as good as it could have been, also adding that he's not under any pressure to make a deal with Iran as opposed to what he calls the fake news is reporting. He says that it will all happen relatively quickly. And it also comes as the president is saying that he's unlikely to extend that ceasefire deadline if a deal is not actually achieved in the coming hours and days. And meanwhile, the U.S. envoy to the UN, Mike Waltz, over the weekend saying that the president is prepared to escalate in order to de-escalate. Let's take a look.
The outcome of these talks will be incredibly consequential. And as the president has stated, he is prepared to escalate, to de-escalate. He is prepared to actually board and turn around Iranian ships, even as far east as the Pacific Ocean.
Meanwhile, the president also comparing the duration of past wars to right now the operation in Iran. He says, for example, World War I lasting over 4 years, World War II lasting 6 years, and the Korean War lasting 3 years. And he's making a point in saying that the operation in Iran has not been that long at all, and that, in his opinion, it will all wrap up rather quickly. Of course, all eyes are now on the upcoming peace talks. It remains to be seen, though, if the Iranians will actually come to the negotiation table.
Right, all this happening as tensions remain high in the Strait of Hormuz. So what is the latest there?
So over the weekend, the standoff really intensified in the Strait of Hormuz as the U.S. forces there really intensified the blockade by firing at and seizing an Iranian vessel that tried to breach the blockade and under a 6-hour-long warning refused to comply with the U.S. orders. And here's a footage released by Central Command showing the moment before that happened. Let's take a look.
Motor vessel Tosca, vacate your engine room. Vacate your engine room. We're prepared to subject you to disabling fire.
So U.S. Marines later boarded that vessel and seized it. It's now under U.S. custody. Meanwhile, the IRGC has vowed to retaliate over that, while the Iranian president still is emphasizing diplomacy. So some mixed messaging there from the Iranian side. Meanwhile, Iran over the weekend also backtracked on their promise to fully reopen the Strait of Hormuz. And of course, that's leading to more U.S. responses, as well as President Trump accusing Iran of violating ceasefire by targeting vessels from the UK as well as from France. And also the president last night taking to Truth Social and posting that we are offering a very fair and reasonable deal. And I hope they take it, because if they don't, the U.S. is going to, quote, knock out every single power plant and every single bridge in Iran. No more Mr. Nice Guy. So that's the refreshed warning from the president. Of course, all eyes on the next few hours to see if any deal comes to fruition, and if not, if the U.S. will resume its strikes on Iran.
Okay, definitely a lot happening here. Thank you for keeping us updated.
Thank you, Don.
Now, an Iranian woman accused of brokering weapons on behalf of the Iranian government